OSM is on the air.
Shall we begin?
Here's Lonnie.
Oh, here I am again.
Let's begin now.
Let's begin now. Hi and welcome. I'm Lonnie Benson. Welcome to our Open Stage Musicians podcast for our songwriters. I am so excited to be able to bring this to you tonight. You have no idea what you're in for. It's absolutely going to be terrific for you. For those of you who are listening for the very first time, let me give you a little bit of background about Open Stage Musicians, or I like to call it OSM. Makes it a lot easier. So OSM was started back in April as a group for musicians on Facebook. My purpose for beginning this group was to provide a safe place for my friends and their friends to post some of the songs they sing on places like Smule and SingSnap and Reverb Nation and all those other great online music groups. I decided that my members could post their music, and I made one main rule, and that was no bullying, because I didn't want anybody to be intimidated by somebody. So I said, you can sing whatever you want to sing, whatever genre you want to sing, and you could look however you wanted to look, and that if anybody gave you any crap about the way that you looked or the way that you sang, those people were immediately dismissed from my group. And I still hold to that today. OSM started with just a few of my friends who invited a few of their friends, and now we're over 1,000 members from all around the world. I'm very proud to say that our membership includes people who are just people who like to sing for hobby, maybe in the shower, perform karaoke, to people who are actually professional musicians and professional songwriters. Once a month, I have a Saturday songwriting challenge where people post their songs for us to listen to, and we give them feedback. Always give them positive critique, not criticism, okay? Tonight on this podcast, for the very first time, I'm going to be sharing some of the amazing songwriter members that I have, and I'm absolutely certain you're about to hear some of the best songs you've ever heard. I'd like to say up front that all of these songs that you're about to hear were written and composed by our members, and that these members still retain all the rights to their music and lyrics. I'm also going to provide you a brief biography of each member that I'm showcasing tonight. If you are in the industry and you hear a song or a songwriter that you would like to have more contact information about, just send me an email. Send it to openstagemusicians@gmail.com, and I'll get right back to you, I promise. Now that you know a little bit more about us, it's time to get started introducing you to our awesomely talented songwriting musicians. I've asked each one of our members to supply me with that little bio, so I'm going to read to you the information that was sent to me. I'm going to start you off with an amazingly talented songwriter named Adham Roshdy. Adham is an amazing vocalist bassist from Egypt. He composes, arranges, and produces songs for his solo projects and most of his associated acts. He first set foot on stage at the age of 8 and began pursuing a professional career in music in 2001. Adham's funk and rock are his favorite genres in his solo projects, but he doesn't like being labeled and chained to a genre. He enjoys performing with bands who play everything from blues and jazz to rock. In 2001, Adham began to gain recognition in the underground Egyptian music scene with his rock metal band called Helium. By 2004-2005, Adham started getting interested in performing funk, pop, and jazz bands in Egypt. In 2009, Adham co-wrote and co-produced and co-released the first licensed heavy thrash metal album in Egypt called The Clown with Wyvern. He was the band's vocalist. Adham left Wyvern and continued exploring different genres, starting and joining several funk and jazz bands, and performed across Egypt. As for his solo projects, he composes and arranges all the music on all of his original material. He sometimes features guest guitarists to record Adham's guitar lines, or he asks them to write and record their own guitar solos, but not the rhythm lines. He may sometimes feature bass players to record his bass lines, but not quite often. Today, in addition to his solo project, Adham is the main vocalist of several active bands in Egypt, including Funk and Pop, Firehood, Hard Rock, the 145, which is blues, Spade of Hearts, which is jazz, and the Cairo Big Band Society, which is also jazz. He is also a session bass player with a few Egyptian pop bands and artists. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to the amazing Adham Roshdy. His song is entitled Falling for You.
Woke up this morning thinking about you. Last night you've left me mesmerized, yeah. One look from you, you got me hooked, baby. Seems like I'm losing my mind. Now girl, you've got me on a high wire. You're in my heart and my thoughts tonight. Here I am now, longing for your smile, yeah. I'm in this tunnel, heading for your light, baby. While we still there, I'm feeling. Got my heart racing for you. While we still there, I'm feeling. Looks like I'm falling for you. Listen now. Seems like my life spins when you're around, baby. You took my heart and threw away the key. And I won't deny you take my breath away daily. There's more to you than what meets the eye. Now girl, you got me on a high wire. You're in my heart and my thoughts tonight. Here I am, longing for your smile, yeah. I'm in this tunnel, heading for your light, baby. While we still stand, I'm feeling. Got my heart racing for you. While we still stand, I'm feeling. Looks like I'm falling for you. One more time. So while we still stand, I'm feeling. Got my heart racing for you. While we still stand, I'm feeling. Looks like I'm falling for you. Now listen now. I walked alone this lonely road, and I don't wanna keep moving on my own. Oh no. I've seen your eyes, your shining light, yeah, and I felt the warmth of your touch tonight. Felt so right. You felt so right. Hey, 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 hey. While we still stand, I'm feeling. Got my heart racing for you. While we still stand, I'm feeling. Looks like I'm falling for you. One more time. So while we still stand, I'm feeling, baby. Got my heart racing for you. While we still stand, I'm feeling. Looks like I'm falling for you.
You can also find Adham on YouTube, and you should see the videos that he creates. Okay, we're going to keep moving along here, so let me introduce you to our next artist. Now I'd like to introduce you to Darron Cox. Darron was raised in Texas, and he started writing music about 9 years ago. However, he just recently started getting serious about it. Darron loves a wide variety of music. His inspiration for writing stems from his desire to express himself. He says, "I feel as if a song provides a window to the very soul of its writer. I only write what I feel at the moment." So, my OSM listeners, I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Darron Cox.
This is a song I wrote several years ago, and a lot of people refer to it as my dad's song, but it's so much more than that because it describes not a perfect relationship or a perfect marriage, but a perfect love that could withstand, whatever obstacles it faced. And it's about my mom and dad. And for those of you who don't know, my father had Alzheimer's, and my mom, she never gave up on him. And so I wrote this song. It was the second song I've ever written, and it was definitely the easiest, and I just wanted to share it with you. I hope you enjoy it. Check on him today. See, he's getting old and time's taking its toll, and he seemed to lost his way. Mama, she stands by his side like she did right from the start. Well, she can sense the end of her best friend, and I can tell that it breaks her heart. As she asked him, who are you, and do you know me? Well, tears filled Daddy's eyes as she told him who she used to be. I used to be the arms that held you tight. I used to be the lips you kissed goodnight. I used to be the knees that you made weak. I used to be the hand that touched your cheek. I used to be the face that made you smile. I used to be the one that drove you wild. I used to be the eyes you looked into. And I'm still the heart that's still in love with you. Dad lost all his memory, and his past had been erased. He lost his sense of confidence, and now fear's taken its place. Mama, she still talks to him just like she used to do. Though his mind is gone, she just keeps on hoping she'll get through. We all thought Daddy hadn't heard a word that our mama had spoke, till one day he showed us all he heard what mattered the most. As she asked him, who are you, and do you know me? Tears filled Mama's eyes as he told her who he used to be. I used to be the arms that held you tight. I used to be the lips you kissed goodnight. I used to be the knees that you made weak. I used to be the hand that touched your cheek. I used to be the face that made you smile. I used to be the man that drove you wild. I used to be the eyes you looked into. And I'm still the heart that's still in love with you.
I should have warned you to get out the Kleenex before I played that. I'm sorry. It's a beautiful, beautiful song, and I'm just so proud of it. Thank you, Darron, for sharing it with us. Now I'd like to introduce you to my very favorite rocker. His name is Phil West. According to his biography, he says he was born in Nashville, Tennessee, until his parents split up when he was still very young. Phil went to live in Missouri and Mississippi, and that's where his mom's family were, and they all were very much involved in music. Someone was always playing piano, guitar, violin, etc. But his mom died of cancer when he was only 10 years old. He went back to Nashville with his uncles, and he played bluegrass every Sunday morning. He also played guitar in high school, and he had music theory classes. He loved classical music and rock, and tried to combine the two styles without much success. He began playing semi-professional on bass after college around Nashville. Then he moved on to playing all over Tennessee in a southern hard rock band. But in the early 80s, he was in a successful metal band, but his singer from the band was killed in an automobile accident. So Phil walked away from the business, and he was totally devastated. He began a biker lifestyle, but a motorcycle accident ended that and caused him severe spine problems. Phil goes on to say that his doctor told him to start playing music again. He said he hadn't touched a guitar in over 20 years, but that was 7 years ago. He didn't think about it anymore, but he decided to solo 5 years ago, and he started his own professional studio, and that was in Utah. Then he lost his wife to cancer, but her last request for him was to start writing and recording his own music. He was now a dad with 2 small children, but honored her request. The first 2 songs I recorded, he says, were put on the radio in Colorado, and everything took off from there. I moved back to Nashville last year for a while to play, then up to New England and Maine for a while. Now, back in Nashville, he's getting settled in and rebuilding. He met Gia Federico some time back and loved her music. Gia's PR guy heard Phil, and he said he wanted to pick him up as soon as things from the COVID gets calmed down. He's not signed, but he handles his own label, his own studio company, and video production company. August the 1st, he is now at 5 years being a solo act. He's recorded over 50 songs, most on radio in Colorado. Phil has started all over again, but with an entirely different outlook on life and music. His children are first over everything, but they love what Phil's doing. Phil related the story to me that he was going on a trip with his kids recently, and he asked them what they would like to listen to on the radio. And they said, "Dad, just put on your own stuff. We like to listen to it." Now that's praise. Phil says he has some good metal projects going on, but he won't be able to complete them until he finds a lady metal vocalist. So if you're out there and you want to get going with a really great guitarist, there's your opportunity. Contact me and I'll put you in contact with Phil West. He supports women in rock and metal because of the difficulty they have in the business. So if you can't tell, Phil West is an amazing man. And I'd like to introduce his music to you right now. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's time for my friend Phil West. And that was my friend, Phil West. And he was doing his own composition called To Embrace a Dream. We actually do have some female songwriters. Seems like I'm kind of stuck on the guys, doesn't it? I'm sorry. So let's bring in our friend Debby Skinner. Debby says she's been writing songs since the 80s. The song that you're about to hear, she wrote in 1987. Debby writes mostly gospel songs, but she's written a few secular songs too. She says, I don't have any of those recorded. I took after my grandma Lawson. She wrote songs and poems back in the 40s. I grew up in church and love gospel music. I write songs of faith, healing, and God's love. Also, some of my songs were written from pain in my life. I've been able to write about God's love and healing power. My album I recorded in 1997 is all songs I wrote, including this song. I always had dreams of someone famous recording my songs, and I hope that you'll hear Debby and you'll go, you know what? Someone should. The song you're about to hear from Debby is a reflection of incidents that happened to her, and she has put it all into a song. There's a lot of pain in this song, so I just wanted to kind of prepare you for it, and you'll understand once you hear Mr. Do You Know.
Mister, do you know how I hurt inside? How I feel like I want to run and hide. Always wondering what's wrong with me. You hurt me so bad. Mister, can't you see? Mister, I thought you cared about me. But you'll never know how much I'm hurting. Sometimes the tears fall down my face like rain, 'cause I need someone to help stop the pain. Mister, are you still hurting someone? The pain they feel has only just begun. You're hurting someone so precious, so young.
Sometimes the tears fall down my face like rain, 'cause I need someone to help stop the pain. I need someone to help stop the pain. Thank you, Jesus.
Debbie's song is so sad, and so many women, unfortunately, can really relate to this song. Let's move along now and hear our next lady singer and songwriter, okay? Our next songwriter is Debby Smith, but now then she performs under the name Deless. She's been writing songs since the age of 13 years old. She only got involved again in music after a decades-long break. In 2014, she went to Nashville to record, and she's been nominated at the prestigious Independent Josie Awards in 3 consecutive years, and she won an award for the Song of the Year in the Jazz and Blues category in 2017. Ever-changing and expanding her craft, she now focuses on soft songs that uplift people. The song I'd like to play for you right now is called Sunshine on a Cloudy Day, and she wrote this when she was still going by the name Debb, so don't get confused. And make sure you look for her on Spotify.
Sunshine on a cloudy day, or on a rainy afternoon. I like it that way, and I miss you so much whenever you are gone. I hope you come back as soon as the morning dawns. Some people get that rainy day feeling when the rain is pouring down, but I never feel that way whenever you're in town. I've got my own pocket of sunshine whenever you're around, 'cause you've got that special something that takes away my frown. Some people get that rainy day feeling when the rain is pouring down, but I never feel that way whenever you're around. I've got my own pocket of sunshine whenever you're in town. 'Cause you're my sunshine on a cloudy day. You take away my frown.
That's just so pretty. And this is a song that she wrote that won the Josie back in 2017. Let's introduce you to Cody Farlow. He started singing when he was about 5 years old, and he performed his first song at a church at the age of 8. He performed a rewritten version of the Dixie Chicks song, Cowboy Take Me Away, that he entitled, Lord Take Me Away. A woman who was dying was so touched by my performance, he says, that she requested that he perform at her funeral when she passed. He continued performing at church and in talent shows through his childhood. When Cody was 12, he bought a keyboard with Christmas money that was sent to him by his grandparents. He says, I began writing songs after I bought that, and in my early 20s, I paid to have my first song professionally done using Fiverr. After spending a couple grand getting songs done, I decided to learn music composition, mixing and mastering, so my only barrier to creativity would be time. I also have an amazing producer who works with me on some of my new songs and almost exclusively on my older songs. His name is Wagner Silva, and he lives in Brazil. We've worked to create an album, and I'm finishing up my second album. He says he's also working to remix older songs to increase their quality. Cody goes on to say, most of my songs center around his experiences with mental illness and his troubled childhood. Lately, I've been writing more upbeat songs that mirror my current mental state. And if anyone wants to contact Cody, just contact him at www.codyfarlow.com or email him at codyfarlow1@gmail.com. So here's a song by Cody Farlow. It's called It's Worth the Stay.
We'll never be okay. We'll never start praying. We'll always be explaining what went wrong. Took a wrong step today. Now the day is filled with pain. Never expected anyway to see the sunshine. Now suffering ages, nights never seem to end. Look down and up again, just hoping to survive. We'll never be okay. We'll never stop praying. We'll always be explaining what went wrong. Will things be alright when the gleam of mine come alive? I wanna run, no one to hurt but pride. When will I say it's worth the stay? Just another climb, but the heights never seem to end. All the pain is mine, tears burning in my eyes. Inexorable wages, the nights never seem to end. I look up and then again, hoping to come alive.
old sensation's worthless, but the pain will end. You will come back again when the sun rises. I will say it's gonna be okay. The sun is shining. Now I will be explaining what went right. Things are alright. Gleam of my eyes come alive. I'm gonna run, no one gonna hurt but thrive. This is what I say. Yeah, it's worth to stay.
Now I'd like to introduce you to a dear friend. His name is Bernd Hansen, and he is my admin on Open Stage Musicians. And I'm going to read you exactly what Bernd says. Bernd says, about me, self-taught guitar starting at age 12, joined first ragtag band at 14. He joined his first commercially successful rock dance band called Refined Rock Show at age 15 as lead guitarist, along with my older brother Gary, who started on rhythm guitar and later switched over to bass. Bernd wrote and co-wrote a few originals that the band did and recorded rough demos. After high school, Bernd studied classical guitar at the Royal Conservatory of Music in Toronto with the aim of getting into a university music degree program. Bernd developed coordination issues that actually started in his early teens, but it got worse. Bernd says, and I finally was diagnosed with a hereditary disorder called Wilson's disease when he was 18, along with his older sister. He says, in short, the body doesn't get rid of excess copper properly, and the copper ends up depositing in places such as the base of the brain, causing permanent damage to cells and interfering with electrical nerve signals going to muscles, sort of like radio static. He gave up the dream of music degree and a career, but continued to play in local dance bands in his 20s and 30s. Bernd says, I also had some music projects that flopped. He stopped playing in bands in his 40s, and he let his guitars collect dust for the most part. When he got in his 50s and 60s, he found that his songwriting had seemed to mature somewhat, and he went back and reworked songs that seemed to have initial promise, but had major flaws. He says, I learned how to operate home recording software and started laying tracks to songs that he felt had potential. In 2019, he heard about a new grant program to help songwriters and producers and finally made the decision, now or never. So he laid the foundations for the project, the website, the domain, the plans, etc., and began work. It's important for me to tell you these things. Together with Cody Farlow and a gentleman from the UK named Dominic Kay, they got together and they did a song for me. They actually contacted several of the members of our group and had them sing parts of the song just for me. So I want to play that song for you because it's really representative of the ornery little cuss that I call my right-hand man, and I hope that you enjoy it as much as I did. You probably won't cry like I did, but you're going to enjoy it.
I'm a thinking I'm discovering there's a part of you that wants to be bad with me.
If I'm mistaken, please don't take it in a way that makes you wanna be mad at me.
I see a mischief in your eyes, no matter how much you disguise.
Playfulness will get me deep in trouble as you damn me double.
Let you be bad.
It's inside of you that's irresistible and mystical and bad to be.
That's naughty as can be when you want to go and diss me mercilessly. I love the sweetness you have inside that really, really tries hide.
The part of you that loves to do the things that make my heart fall.
When you're bad,
Never had an illusion, any kind of confusion when I fell for you.
that you'd be someone I could take to church without you winking, sneaking kisses in the back pew.
You make my face turn red even when it's something said between me and you.
You make the soul soar so high, skipping stones in the sky, wanting you to do the voodoo you do at night when you stick me with the pins of delight. So come be bad with me, so very bad with me tonight.
In case you haven't realized, each day you make me fantasize. You're bad with me.
So my ribs are really sore from all the mirth you shared in heaven, so for me.
Can't wait to hear you say you're even naughtier today.
Can't believe how delicious, so magically mysterious my life can be.
When you're bad, I'm so glad
that we had all these times.
When you're bad with me.
So that was the song that Bernd wrote for me, and Dominic and Cody Farlow worked together with him to get all of those people together to sing the song, and it is my favorite thing in the world. I thank them from the bottom of my heart still today. I hope it made you smile. And now I'm honored to introduce to you Timo Standing Buffalo Cano. I don't have a official biography of Timo, but let me tell you a little bit about Timo. From just looking at his Facebook, I can tell you he says that he's 64 this June, but he's still rocking the world. I can tell you that that's true. Back in Nashville now, he says, with his recording projects and musicals and film work, writing for my next record release, doing radio podcasts and upcoming tours next year once the COVID is under control. Timo, the time traveler. Music can keep you young. Just live right and healthy. And I'll tell you, he is an amazing, amazing man, a gentle spirit, and an actor. You can actually find him on IMDb. I think you're going to be hearing about Timo Cano for many, many years to come. This is Timo Standing Buffalo Cano and his song called The Healing Sky Chronicles as Timo and the White Buffalo on the road to Mandalay.
Disappearing slowly, decisions that were made. Too willing not to lead is such an evil sin. Our souls will always be there on the road to Mandalay. On Song Suu Kyi. In the sun, the temples of the past, embracing soul to soul, we're dancing in the wind. You know our souls will be there on the road to Mandalay. On Song Suu Kyi. Mandalay, on Song Suu Kyi. of its people, and the gift of the Creator is freedom for the entire human race. And in the quiet land where no one speaks, the silence of the crowds, when no one laughs or even thinks out loud, you know our soul will always be on the road to Mandalay. Aung San Suu Kyi, on the road to Mandalay. Aung San Suu Kyi, on the road to Mandalay. Aung San Suu Kyi, on the road to Mandalay. Aung San Suu Kyi.
Don't you feel a little more peaceful now? Timo will do that for you with every song that he writes. Now let me introduce you to Bobby Johnson. Bobby Johnson, he's a singer-songwriter for over 54 years, and still to this day he's writing music. He plays 8 different instruments, and he writes the lyrics, he arranges the song, and plays every single instrument on the songs he records, masters, and produces them as well. In 2019, Bobby was the ISSA Humanitarian Award winner. He also works to help other writers and artists in music to achieve their goals in music. He has a team called Team Johnson that helps him with his Facebook shows, and a team of writers called the Dream Team that work together to get good songs out there for other artists to record. This year, Bobby Johnson won the Gold Award for the ISSA Male Songwriter of the Year. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like for you to hear Bobby Johnson and his song called No One But You. Bobby will be singing with his friend Donna Carroll.
No one in the world can love me like you.
No one can treat me like you do.
You're my heart, you're my soul,
And I'll never let you go.
I can't see no one but you. You're the first thing I see when I open my eyes.
And you're the last thing I see. Every night.
You're the air that I breathe,
And your love just sees me through.
I can't see myself. No one but you. You're the one I want to go with.
You're the one that makes me complete.
You're my home, you're my dreams.
You're everything I need. I can't sleep with no one but you. And I can't see me with no one but you.
You can hear more of Bobby Johnson on YouTube. Just look up Bobby Johnson, singer, songwriter, and entertainer. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of information about our next person. However, he is a friend of mine, so I can actually tell you, nice guy, super talented, and I'm going to play one of his songs for you right now that he wrote and composed, and it's called Frozen.
What you gonna do with my heart? Now that you know you own it. How you gonna treat my soul when you're alone with it? Love you in every way. So many things I wanna say, but words are just words at the end of the day. Oh, the battle begins when the heart falls in love. It knows what it needs, it knows what it wants. Then the mind steps in and questions it all till you're frozen. Can't move, can't see. Yourself completely to me, filled every one of my needs. How do I not fall in love? You're so beautiful. So where do we go from here? Filled with passion and fear. Do I trust my mind or my heart? Who will win this war? Oh, the battle begins when the heart falls in love. It knows what it needs, it knows what it wants. Then the mind steps in and questions it all till you're frozen. Can't move, can't see. Questions it all till you're frozen.
And that was the amazingly talented Frank Lombardo. Check out Frank on YouTube under Frank Lombardo, and you're going to find some of the most beautiful tunes you've ever heard. Some of them he wrote, and some of them he just does covers, but you're still going to enjoy every song from Frank Lombardo. And now it's time for the girls again. I'm going to play for you Cindy Hall. Cindy sent me a nice little paragraph today about herself, so I thought I would read it to you. She says, I moved to Nashville at 21 in 1975. I did a lot of studio work and opening shows. In 79, I became ill. I went home to recuperate and met my husband. It took me 40 years to get back. I met my old friend Ernie Rowell, who is now my duet partner. He was the first friend I met here in 1975. He worked for George Jones then, and now has his own recording studio on Music Row, Fun House Studios. That's where my songs were recorded, and he has published the songs through Blue Creek Music. He's my manager, and it is all through his company, Freedom Entertainment. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you Cindy Hall. And the song that she's about to sing is pretty darn appropriate, I think. It's called Back Where I Belong.
Thinking about those happy years, guess I shed a million tears. It sure felt right back then. Wondered just what might have been. I packed up and went back home, but my music dream was strong. Lost my world when I lost my song, till I found my way back where I belong. Now every day's a gift. I fell down but never quit. Didn't know I was so strong to lose it all and still go on. Now every night is like a sweet love song, since I found my way back where I belong. There were songs left unsung, dreams left undone, love never shared, guess it never had a prayer, lonely nights that wouldn't end, my heart just couldn't mend, seemed like my whole world was gone, till I found my way back where I belong. Now every day's a gift. I fell down but never quit. Didn't know I was so strong to lose it all and still go on. Now every night is like a sweet love song, since I found my way back where I belong. And after all these years, the dream replaced the tears. Now every day's a gift. I fell down but never quit. Didn't know I was so strong to lose it all and still go on. Now every night is like a sweet love song, since I found my way back where I belong. I found my way back where I belong.
Unfortunately, the next person I'm going to play for you, I don't know very much about. However, his work is under Paul Wright Tracks, and I'll tell you, the first time I heard this guy, and the music, I just totally got blown away. So ladies and gentlemen, let me present to you someone who I'm going to have a whole lot more information for the next time I play him, Paul Wright, Paul Wright Tracks. And he's going to be playing Why Me?
With my head down, trying to keep the groove alive. She looked like a bunny at a Playboy magazine. And his hair to me, that was the cutest thing I've ever seen. She had high heel boots, blonde hair, and big blue eyes. And the way she was moving to the music had me hypnotized. Ran up to her and said, baby, what's your name? Well, I should have known better, now I've only got myself to blame. Why me? I thought like this is the very last thing I need. If I had any sense, you know I'd turn that around and leave. I said, why me? All right, come on. Every joint in town. Pay my $100 every time I turn around. And by the time my money ran out, you know my honey was gone. And I was crying out loud to myself as I was walking home. I said, why me? I thought I like this is the very last thing I need. Well, if I had any sense, you know I turn right around and leave. I said, why me?
I will tell you, from looking him up on Facebook, he lives in Omaha, and he was from Liverpool, and you can find him at pwtracks.webs.com/index.htm. Hopefully you'll be able to find out a little bit more about him, and maybe I can find out a little bit more about him too. But I really enjoy his music, and I hope you did too. Now I'm going to introduce you to one of my dear friends. Her name is Torill Stevens. Well, Torill Erdahl was what she went by, but now she's officially Torill Erdahl Stevens, and her husband is Jackie Stevens, and they are both members of our wonderful group on OSM. I'm just going to read to you from the bio that Torill sent to me. She lives in Norway, and she says, the last time I looked through my Norwegian songs, I counted 300, but I have made more songs, some few in English too. The last one I did in English, I made Melody Today and Lyric Yesterday. That was August the 27th. And then she says, I've been very blessed in my adult life to have Jackie Stevens in my life as a singing partner. But he is also my beloved husband and my children's stepfather, and together we have Torja Music, and it's Torja. She says, after some years with a broken heart and divorced, she could smile again when Jackie became a part of her life. And God has really blessed us in so many ways. We started singing together miles and miles apart, Jackie in the USA and I in Norway, on the karaoke app Smule. And together we started making sweet music in many ways and ended up as happily married. And we love how God has led us step by step and always will do when we including him in everything. We love sharing the gospel to the world through our Torja style and through Torja and gospel music friends worldwide. A few years ago, Jackie and I were lucky and did a record in main studio in Norway. Glenn Henriksen is the owner of the studio. People can find that song on YouTube because it be as well a music video made by a producer from Christian television channel, Gospel Channel. So I apologize for my broken reading there, but she has broken English as well. But I tell you, the woman's heart is made of pure gold, and she is absolutely a joy to know and to listen to. And Jackie is an amazing partner for her. So ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the sweetest woman in the world. And her name is Torill Erdahl Stevens, and the song that she's going to sing for you is one that she wrote that's called Summertime.
Music singing Summertime, You Are Mine. Lyric and melody, Torill Erdahl Stevens.
Summertime, you are mine. Summer nights that shine. For a while, you're alive. You bring me your smile. You give joy, you give life. Bring your strength to my days in so many ways. Summertime, give me a smile that will be your goal. Don't be shy, tell me why you should leave and ride. Come again, be my friend.
Performer for today's show is Mr. Roy Henderson, and he is a terrific songwriter and just a very, very nice guy. I'm just getting to know him, so I don't know a whole lot about him yet, but he is in the International Singer-Songwriters Association, and that alone should tell you he's pretty darn good, okay? So ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you Mr. Roy Henderson, and he's going to sing a song called Since I Met You.
You came into my life, I had no one to hold on to. I was down and alone and nowhere to go. I thought my days of happiness, that they were all through. I thank my lucky stars that I met you. surprise. I have seen a beautiful lady through your blue eyes. Now all through the day and all hours of the night, you're all I think about. You're my shining light. Since I met you, I just want you to know my heart is full of love for you so. As the days go by, everyone will see it too, that I just started living since I met you. Since I met you, I just want you to know my heart is full of love for you so. As the days go by, see it too, that I just started living since I met you. Yes, I just started living since I met you.
What a beautiful voice and what a beautiful heart this man has. I hope you enjoyed Roy Henderson as much as I did. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I had to actually cut a few people because we have so many songwriters that I couldn't get everybody in. I'm already almost a half an hour over what I usually go. But I wanted to make sure and get in as many as I possibly can. So for those members of Open Stage Musicians, please know I will definitely be highlighting you in an upcoming podcast. And I want you to know I haven't forgotten you, and please forgive me for not being able to fit everybody in tonight. I'd really like to thank everybody who participated in our very, very first Songwriter Saturday. I hope you'll take the time to stop by our Facebook group and find us again at www.facebook.com/groups/Open Stage Musicians.